Hello and welcome to this Warno 2v2 game played on loop. Today we've got Yastreb and Shturmovik playing as 24th US and 9th US, and they're going up against Dustin, Echoes, and Seb playing Berlin Gropers and 27Y. So we'll cover the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Okay, so these are the deck reviews, and as usual for a 2v2, we're not going to go through every single unit. We'll just make some general comments. So in terms of the picks here, so for red, Berlin Command and 27Y, they're not. There's no good synergy there because you don't have any airborne forward deployment at all between those two divisions. So you'll get there late. But well, actually, apart from that, it's not too bad. Like you've got a lot of long range AA. One guy's got a lot of armor. One guy's got a lot of infantry, but not really, right? Because this div doesn't actually get that many tanks. So I don't think it's a good synergy. Basically, this could be like an airborne division. Any of them except 56Y will do. You know, just something that gets there first. Or it can even be like a hybrid division, like 4th Motschützen. Something like that. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got good infantry, but you don't have enough armor, really. You don't have any airborne forward deployment. That's the main thing. Then in terms of, so like, you know, PACT, they get a lot of artillery and stuff. So 4 Acacias and RM70 is quite a bit. I'd probably recommend either swapping this out for another RM70 or upvetting these, having 2 of those upvetted. Because that's a lot of art. Because basically 3 cards of supply wouldn't be enough to sustain that anyway, like even like this. So I'd probably go double RM70 and bring a fob. Then in terms of CVs, we've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I mean it's a bit on the high side for a 2v2, but it is what it is. And yeah, so I mean, if you've got 8 KUBS, right, you definitely don't need 6 TORs, so you could just get rid of those. It's only 1 AP slot, so you get this. This is anti-infantry, very, very good. I'd upvet that as well. And yeah, I don't really think you need 8 KUBS anyway. Like, you certainly don't, like, what's with all this? But like, if you really want 8 KUBS, fine. But yeah, you want to be bringing these. I mean, that's sort of the whole... It's basically the only advantage this division has, is that you get 2 cards of these towed AA guns. And you are the only div in the game that gets... Oh, KDA gets it as well. My bad. But yeah, I wouldn't be bringing 8 KUBS anyway. But I think 4 and 3 TORs is enough, really, in terms of long-range AA. Not much to say there, really. I do prefer the Rocket 2. And then, yeah, so... You know, you don't need that much infantry recon. Like, you want something like this or like this, so you can actually see stuff with your vehicles, right? So I would keep this because of the grenade launcher. I'd keep this because this is your fighting recon. And Grenza's Flam, I think, honestly, just a big meme. So I would swap those out for this, most likely. A 1 AP slot spare. Not sure how that's happened. These are 2-pointers, 2-pointer. And then here, like... Yeah, you can have lots of the... I mean, to be honest, you really want to be upvetting these anyway, right? I don't really agree with this 12 AT gun thing. Something like this can actually be, like, so, like a card of these and a card of those, because this is, like, more fire support, right? More shooty. This can only shoot at vehicles, don't bring that. They could make it free. Well, okay, if it was free, I would probably bring it. And, yeah, so, like, no PKM team here, I think is a big mistake. So I'd probably get rid of a card of, Moshus and Strela to bring the PKM team. And, yeah, I think that's all good apart from that. And then his teammate... yeah, so like the grenade launchers are better than the PKM teams. They serve slightly different functions, but basically it does a lot more damage. It does cost twice as much, but it is better. So I would bring that instead of this. You obviously don't always have that option, but when you do, the grenade launch team tends to be better. And then this is like, so what happens if you get to a town and you have to fight in the town, right? You've got four of these. I mean, it's not sufficient really, so I'd probably swap out the Pulmachiki for some Saperi RPO and the Gaz. And then like here, so do you not want something like this? I mean, so in a 1v1, you would definitely need the Conquer's M to cover the flanks, but this is a 2v2 on what is essentially a 1v1 map, like Loop used to be in the ranked pool. So maybe you can get away with not bringing it. I personally would prefer to have it, but maybe you can get away with not bringing it. Here, I mean, obviously, I would prefer the T8M funny opener, but in a 2v2, that doesn't really work, because you're just going to get blown up. So maybe all this makes sense in a 2v2. And yeah, I think that's all good. I mean, it would be nice to sort of upvet this and bring two of them, but you know, you don't have the AP, right? So you can't. I really do not rate this at all, but some people like it. Anyway, switching to their opponents, we've got shturmovik RuneScape playing as 9th US, and Yastreb playing 24th US. I'm not sure why people keep playing this division. It really is dog. I'm not sure what's going on in that AA tab. So, like, you want the Eyehawks. Do you even get them on this div? No, you don't. What a crap div, honestly. So you don't really want 14 pivads. Get some stingers in there. 2 cards of supply. I mean, you want mortars for smoke, really, rather than 4 howitzers. But if you're not going to use it, because I see a lot of people bring in the mortars these days and they just never use them. But you should bring it and you should use it. This is actually better than this now because the minus 5% accuracy doesn't actually affect artillery dispersion. So it's just a howitzer that can get suppressed more easily for 20 points less. I'd be bringing... yeah, so like this is crap. Just get rid of it. I mean, the whole Strike Eagle meme I know is very funny. I think it's just not gonna work. And then it's like 2, 4. Just a 3-pointer. So do you not want some cheaper? I suppose this is the cheap CVs. You want the PKM team, right? The reservist one's better because it's 1/3 less price and has 1/6 less damage for 1/3 less price. So you want that. What to get rid of? Probably a card of these. And then right, you want a card of infantry, like not in a Bradley, in case you need infantry there fast. I suppose this could qualify. You really want this in the military police vehicles, so you can put those next to your National Guard Abrams, which you certainly do not. I mean, a lot of people do, what? 2, 4, 6? Like, what? I mean, I can sort of understand it because you need tanks that actually work. Oh dear, yeah. Anyway, you want something like this, you know, to fire ATGMs at people. You can even get something like this, because it's got a TOW 2 on it, but you've got Bradley, so you don't really need that. And then, like, I like the CV, think it's pretty good against infantry. These 3-pointers, like, yeah, just get rid of the pivads, man. It's not doing you any good. And instead of the pivads, you've got this for your anti-infantry, and you can upvet it. Yeah. Just don't play 24th is my main advice to you. Just don't think you're doing yourself any favours at all here. But people just like playing it. I mean, it's... Thankfully, that first cav won by, like, a lot. So, at least we'll actually get an American... Because then there'll be no reason to play 24th ever again, basically. So that's something. Because you can get Bradleys without having to play such a dog division. Or maybe they'll make that one rubbish as well. This is very nice. It's very nice. Trying to think about something I might change. You probably don't need 10 guerrilla. Oh, yeah. So you want this for your anti-infantry. It's very, very funny. It's very, very funny. And that means you don't really need you can bring this grenade launch team. It's just all these coming grenade launchers, right? And yeah, so we got TOW 2A, TOW 2A. You might honestly want to put an ITO in there because what happens if you need one for cheap? It's not actually that much cheaper, but it's got higher availability if it dies to RT. It's not such a big deal, etc., etc. But you could say for 20 points more, what does it matter? Yeah. In terms of the CV choices, 6 guys AT smoke, 11 guys no AT. I prefer this because it's 3 availability. It's really cheap. I know it's not got smoke, but it's got 6 strength. It's 3 availability, so I think it's worth bringing. And so 3, 4, 5, 7. This is all very normal. I do like having 2 cards of this, but Sniper's Core, you want that. Fault? Why? I need ground surveillance radar. I mean, yeah. Maybe you need something that isn't 2 blokes. Although, you know, these don't have AT anyway. Like, I actually kind of like the National Guard Scouts because they're cheap. And they're 4 guys, but I mean, really, fault. Maybe the ground surveillance radar is good. You don't really have too many good options here, really, and these guys, I guess they're nice in that they come in a grenade launcher vehicle. Yeah. This is not the iHawk div, that's 6th. And honestly, you're going to be playing a 40-minute long game. To be honest, frankly, I prefer this because it costs the same and it's got the corrected shot, so it's got less range. So, but if you've got recon everywhere, which presumably you should have, then you'll get very nice dispersion circles. So I prefer this, but this means that you don't, for 50 points more, which is, you know, less than the price of one of your infantry, you can not die like a moron to counter battery. Also, 2v2, you might actually want this. Pretty nice in a 2v2, actually, because it's the cluster one. But where'd you put it? But yeah, I personally would swap this out for either for this one or for this one, because then you just don't get counter battery. The coffin launcher is great, you do need that. And then what? That's a 2-point slot. Like, do you want these? Like, do you need the drone and the recon helo? They kind of fulfill similar roles, right? You could get rid of any of these, and then you could bring the cluster thingy. And you've only got 2 cards of supply, but, you know, 3, 4, 5 in a 1v1. In a 2v2, that's fine. So you could bring, like, a fob and get the cluster thing. Like, honestly, in a team game, you want the cluster thing. Anyway, that's it for the deck reviews. I'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. Don't vet these. What the hell's wrong with you? And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, as you know, I think these compositions are both kind of bad. 24th, you should just never play this division ever. 9th US is pretty decent. Berlin Gropers is crap. And 27Y is alright now with the TOR. Anyway, in terms of the map is very much blue side favoured here because they get this building, which really helps with Dmitry. In centre, they get these buildings and they get more of the town. And over here, they basically just get the town and the opponent just gets the open. So when you're on the red side, you basically have to do the same thing every single time, which is you try and get to here, super useful, because that helps you in here. And you basically just rush the town here. And if you've got this position, right, particularly if you get up to here, but even with just this position, then you'll have this position. You can see most of in here, and then you can push into Elena, take Elena, and then you can also try to fight Dmitry at the start. Because if you've got Elena and you've got Dmitry, then you're on a +1. If the enemy's just got Fedor, you basically just can't go for Fedor. It's ridiculous, really. So it's kind of very predictable what Red's going to do every time. It's a shame, really. But anyway, in terms of the deployments, we've got 9th US here, and he's massively stacking the town, which honestly, I wouldn't expect there to be any baddies here. But this thing doesn't auto-sell. So he can just load everybody back up and send them over the bridge. So that's all good. I would have brought like a javelin or something. Right, sorry, a stinger. Then we've got 2 of these. You want to buy all 3 at the start or don't bother buying any. Because basically the enemy plane will kill 1 and then the other 2 kill the enemy plane. But if you lose this, well then this isn't going to do anything. So you want to buy all 3 at once. And we've got, yeah, so another sniper team going to the town, backed up by a bunch of scouts and Fault and grenade launcher teams and scouts and Fault and so on. And then here's the 24th Mechanized Blob. So they're just sort of a... Oh no, they have got guys going for Dimitri. Interesting. So we've got 1 guy on the far left and the far right and 1 guy in mid. But the armoured guy really should be in Dimitri, because isn't that the whole point? And then he can fight on the right side of Elena. And then the guy doing all the fancy stuff with the infantry can just look at this, rather than constantly having to come over here. Which does get you killed. That being said, you know, sending a TOW 2 down this road is a good idea. Like, you should send a couple of units there. But mainly, I'd expect 24th to handle that, because he is the tank and Bradley div. And then we got a bunch more infantry going over here. Some of these Cook V's, right, these are really good in the open, so it makes sense to send those, or 1 of those. But yeah, no AA. No AA. And then here we've got a Pivads and 2 AA healers, but like, I mean, I understand that their opponents are not big on helicopters or anything like that. Like, you don't have to worry too much about that. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we've got Seb on the left here with 27Y, open div, better in open space, right? Heavier div, whatever. So yeah, just a few machine gun teams and stuff, and a Conkers going into here. Need some AA up here if you're planning on putting guys all the way up here. Also, I wouldn't go down this road and turn left. I'd go here and move up this way and unload, because it's going to take a lot longer because you're not on the road, but you're going to get shot hit. So that's not great. Couple of BRM1Ks. And yeah, Conkers M. Honestly, so Berlin Gropers has the 2,800 meter range AT guns. If you're planning on just sitting here and not taking this, that's what you should put here. 2,800 meter AT gun there, 2,800 meter range AT gun there, or maybe actually here, because you can also shoot over here, right, and a recon. So I think a bit of the wrong stuff there, actually. I know it's basically the opposite of what I've just said, right, but... Well, I suppose, I mean, if you really wanted to put the open ground guy here, you could put the 1 BMP3 there and then just call it a day, basically. Anyway, 2 Razvedka Saperi going, like, way too deep. They should not make it. They probably, well, we'll see. Because these guys don't have airborne forward deployment either, apart from the snipers and the... I mean, this thing would catch up, so like one of those grenade launchers on here would catch up in time. 2 Grenza's Flam. And then just a bunch of heavy stuff going into mid. So they've basically done what we spoke about, because they kind of have to. But honestly, they should, one of their TORs, a couple of their BMP2s, and an Igla maybe, should have gone this way and set up here. Because then you can shoot into the town from over here. And, yeah, the AG, is that amphibious? It is. So, you know, well, I got to get over there. Well, actually, you can. So, yeah, and then on the right, just like 2 blocking forces. You got to be careful with this, actually, because there's every chance that he might just come down here, and then you don't actually have... I suppose these guys do have AT. But like a BRDM2 Conkers there can be helpful. Or a BRDM2 Malyuka, I think is what he got, right? Just in case the stuff, but yeah, like there should be something here to shoot this way, and you really should try and take this, because if you take this, then you can smoke here and just get a CV in there, and then retreat it into here, retreat it into here. It's so annoying to deal with, and from this position you can shoot down here. Like, it's very, very important to control this if you're on the bad side and if you're on the good side, because you can own this whole town, and if they have this point here, they're just going to smoke here and just walk a CV in, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, because you try and come out here, well, they just shoot you with all the guys that are in all these tree lines. So anyways, let's cast the game. So they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. Otherwise, please just like the video. It makes YouTube recommend it to more people. Somebody said they don't like me today. You should feel bad for me. Anyway, so they did open with a fighter, which makes sense given the severe lack of AA over here. So that's pretty sensible. But yeah, in general, the Red's composition is not good, and neither's Blue's. Blue, basically the Berlin command player should be like 35Y, or even like something like Polish Desant Corpus, or 4th Mochenson, or 76Y. Here, the 24th player should be literally anything else. Preferably 8th Infantry. Anyway, so these guys have been intercepted, but these guys don't have AT. Yeah, like, not everybody's shooting here, so they're just kind of getting in. He got too close and evac'd. He should have, because like now they still have no AA. So if they bought a bomber now, then obviously, you know, you'd be stuffed, right? Anyway, you see Red does have a big, like, so this is, the scouts not having AT is such a big problem here. Because as you can see, they could just drive right up to them and not have to worry about it. So, yeah, the other thing is, so the blue player here, he didn't transfer any of the guys, he's just left them. Like, he's not even sort of moved them up and tried to take this position, for example. So that's really bad news for blue, actually. Because, yeah, basically, they've been bamboozled. So trying to send a M1 just straight down the main road to die. And these Bradleys and stuff, you want to get them like here, and yeah, up here is good. And okay, so he's noticed his mistake. But yeah, Berlin Gropers is really good at close range combat because of the Wachschutzen and stuff. They're very cost effective for their price. There are people who want this changed, and I just sort of like, what? This div sucks balls. Why are you? Yeah, but it's too cost efficient. Right, but the divs suck. It's not cost efficient. Yeah. Like, all right, okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is going pretty absolutely unfathomably terribly for blue. Just sort of walking into the enemy and dying. But the Bradleys are engaged now. And they just immediately start buying the RT, which is a terrible idea when you're losing the front line. Yeah. So it's not ideal, right? I mean, it's also not particularly surprising because, yeah, blue put a lot on the flanks, and then when they noticed that everything was here, or maybe they didn't notice until like right now, because they didn't have a recon healer or anything. But when they noticed that, they should have started swinging guys over, right? I mean, they are sort of doing it now. But yeah, like this Cook V could have gone there, and then it would have shot all the BMP2s, right? Same with this one, and because, like, do you really need... Why do you need four high-level ATGMs here? You don't, really. It's a big mistake. So, I mean, the Bradleys, you know, they are getting kills and stuff, right? It's got a smoke, or it's gonna... Oh, I see, he's getting side shot by this one. So he needs to reverse, really, and not... Okay, he's no... yeah, it's too late for him, I think. This can go back, right? And then, yeah, the grenade launchers are coming in now, so you'd expect these to die, but the other thing is, when you buy artillery, you really want to fire it as soon as you buy it, because otherwise you're... like, because it reloads while moving. So he's bought this, and until it fires, this is a waste of points, right? So he just wasted like a whole minute's income on nothing for 5 minutes. I mean, it's firing now at a BMP2, which is not going to kill. So, yeah. Yeah, so blue's got this, and this comes back to what we spoke about for red. Like, taking this is so important, because you can see most of this, and then you basically know it's in here. It probably knows anyway. So supply coming up now, which is sensible, and yeah, I think red's plan was very good. Oh, there's a BMP3. And as you can see, none of this stuff got here, it all just died. So, I was right on the internet. So that obviously didn't get anything, as you might expect. The other thing is, like, so 9th US has the coffin launchers, which really works well here. I'm surprised he's not bought that. But yeah, you see the the grenade launchers and stuff. They are firing. They're not as flashy as the pivots, but you see the guys. They are dying. Yeah, and it's actually +2 to blue because they've got both sides. So currently red is losing, but I prefer their position. I mean, because this is not looking great. I mean, he should have really landed that as soon as they got shot. But yeah, the main thing is, red needs to put... Because imagine if you had ATGMs here, well, this would be getting shot, this would be getting shot, this. None of these would be here. A couple of them would be dead, and so on. And the other thing is, of course, like we said, you get a firing line in here, you send a recon forwards, anybody who gets in these buildings, you just immediately obliterate them. And then you just start smoking this corner, and you just walk in there. It's a lot of fun. So... yeah, I mean, it was worth a try, I suppose. So yeah, if you are red, you want to be sort of sorting this out. Like, these tanks and stuff can come round to here. And then, you can start shooting these people. Or at this point, you can buy a grad, because you know where he is, and you can't really get away. You want a recon in here, so then you can see... Like, he doesn't actually have any recon. Neither of them have any recon. I don't see a single recon. Oh, there's one. There's 2 hit. But yeah, they need recon in this town so that they can see all these units. Like, there's a lot here, right? And yeah, red's in danger of just feeding. Like, you'll notice it's all red here, and it's been... Okay, a blue unit just died, but like, it's been mostly red for quite some time. And so... Look, this thing actually works now, it's crazy. Well, I did miss that. Okay, blue's starting to lose a lot now as well. Blue needs recon as well, like, what? Nobody can see anything. It's like, this guy should be well, I suppose he's in LOS cover, but like, this isn't getting shot because they can't see it. There you go, so artillery, because like, this is very claustrophobic. Great arty spot, really. Very nice arty spot. The other thing is, like, so you just put this with it. Whose is that? It's Dustin Echoes, so you can put this with it, because there's already 2 CVs in mid, including this one. Yeah. I mean, if I'm in blue's position here, I want to be, like, smoking... to be honest, I want to be taking this. Like, this is very... He's got the units, he could do it any time. You've got a recon helo, just send it over here. Oh, there's nobody there. And then you just sort of walk in and kill this guy. And then you can set up, like, imagine a Cook V here, right? And you get one of those fault guys here. Wow, you can see everybody coming in. Crazy. You can see this guy, you can kill him. And, you're not getting shot in the side anymore. So you see, red, they are starting to move these guys in. They've got an Igler here. You probably want to move that up so you can shoot the hog. That's a NATO supply. Or it was. And yeah, if you're blue, you want to be sort of smoking this up a bit, I think. Because, like, they can't... It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, you are very screwed having all these units in one little spot here. And, the RT is coming in now. It's going to get a lot of damage done there. Alright, you can't miss. Can't miss. Can't miss. That one stunned that guy, so it technically wasn't a miss. So now they're buying planes, and I suppose it makes sense in this case. Because there's not actually that much AA here. Like, there should be a bunch of KUBS here. And the set of the drone is a good idea, frankly. So, seed... oh, there is a KUB there. Okay. So the seed, I think it missed whatever it was shooting at. Because I don't... Yeah, it must have been this top. Ah, here we go, the grad. Or the RM-70. Because, yeah, I mean, you know where they are. Roughly, I mean... But yeah, if you're blue, imagine getting, like, a coffin launcher, right? And you know, you could start whacking people in the town. I think the drone's a really good idea, frankly, because now he's going to know where everything is, and he can queue up some move, arty and move, arty and move, arty and move. They must be able to see that. I mean, this is ground surveillance radar. Maybe this isn't so bad. I mean, ground surveillance radar for 30 points. Yeah. Yeah, still +2 to blue. I mean, we call it the good side for a reason, but yes, the TABVs are showing up now, and, you know, they don't really have anything that can deal with that. Like, the meat is not going to win that fight. And it all just comes down to this. If blue was here, he'd be killing all this. If red was here, you know, they'd be killing all this. I suppose they're sort of doing anyway, but... yeah. Very important part of the map. Very underutilized part of the map. So, more arty coming out. Still no coffin launcher, sadly, but really they just need a bunch of... like, because you'll have noticed that all of a sudden there's nobody here. Why do you think that is? Could it possibly be because this guy hasn't bought any frontline units in 3 minutes? Do you see what I mean? I suppose this is here, right? But these are about a minute's income each. I mean, they're a little less, right? So you can buy one regular unit, which is this, I suppose. But yeah, all of a sudden there's nobody here. And you ask yourself, man, how did we lose that zone? But if you think about it, well, isn't it obvious? You just stop buying units. So, you know, red, all of a sudden, like, because they bought less arty, they did still buy a bit. And there's nothing wrong with having a bit, right? One howitzer each, right? But if you just buy all your howitzers at once, then all of a sudden, oh, we've got nobody in this zone. Oh, man, what happened? How did that happen? Crazy, I know. Anyway, if you're blue at this point, you sort of just want to give up on that, and you want to start reinforcing this and reinforcing this, because you're 700 points up, and if you just start feeding, then things start going pretty badly for you. Because, like, yeah, this guy is dead. He could obviously throw smoke at himself, and you could use some of your many howitzers to smoke things. Or, you know, buy a smoke mortar. But yeah, that's what happens if you just stop buying units for the front line. You lose the front line. I mean, it's so kind of... You say it, and it's like, why are you even saying this? It's so bloody obvious. But, well, you know... It happens. It happens to all of us. Because you don't think about it. You're like, I need the arty, and I'll just buy all the arty. Yeah. So, now you got to. If you're blue, you got to think about the next fight, right? You've lost this fight. There's no getting around it. You've lost that fight. So, they need to reinforce this and make sure they don't lose the next fight. Because, like, they can still win from this position. So, yeah, you need to get some guys in here and clear all this out. You need to, you know, get guys in here. Getting up to here is great. They should put an AA piece in there, right? Even one of those Avengers or something. Get an AA piece in there. Come take all this. And then, you got to think about the late game, but it's really hard to do. I'm not, you know, it's not easy, because... Even though it sounds easy on paper, and I'm sure that if they were to watch this game in the replay, they'd probably realise that immediately. But I've got nothing else to talk about. But the point is that, you know, you get kind of invested. What's that going on? Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Yeah. It's probably a good trade, actually, for blue, but, I mean, it was a CV tank, so not really. In terms of just pure points, it was a good trade. But... So yeah, these should all have a CV next to them, and yeah, you know, like, by all means, like, get some infantry up here and fight this. But you just need to think, these guys need to get some points on the board. How are they going to do that? Well, either they're going to push center, which is not particularly realistic. It is possible, or they're going to push what is, you know, some of your exposed flanks. And they are exposed because they can be fired from, you know, by the middle, right? They can be fired from... They can be fired at from the middle. And if you're red, well, you got to think, okay, well, now how do we get some more points on the board? What do we do? And, you know, you probably reach the same conclusion. Well, we can attack center. Or we can appreciate that we're already really pushed up on Fedor. We can shoot their reinforcements coming down this road, right? And so we should push Fedor from this direction, because all our fire support can be over here shooting. I mean, realistically, you want to try and cross the bridge, but that's very difficult. So yeah, maybe you got to cross up here and come round. But yeah, you can have some guys, like your AA and stuff, can just stay here and keep shooting. You can get like tanks here and stuff shooting into the town. And you attack it from this direction, and you'll get in. You'll get in no problem. Because the enemy's still going to be reinforcing this. So it's like whoever sort of makes the connection first is going to win. So yeah, the other thing is you could attack over here. It looks like they're doing that. And that's fine as well, because they're very pushed up here. In fact, they've succeeded in, like, they'll be able to see all the enemy's reinforcements here. They won't be able to shoot them yet, but they'll be able to see stuff. And so, yeah, you know, either one can work. And, you know, there is space for, like, a sort of a lightning push into center backed by a bunch of smoke and kind of... It's a bit more of, like... It only works if you... Doing the suboptimal strategy only works if you have the element of surprise and you do it very quickly. So, you know, and the last time I played on this map was a tournament game. Me and 42 Defense versus Dot Spy and... I think it was Scuff. Might have been Pro Commie. And... like, this arty's actually killing a lot of things, right? It's just, you know, in return, they lost this position. So, is it worth it? And they could have still bought it just a bit later, right? Anyway, that's what we did, because we were on the bad side. And we tried attack... like, we took this, like, YOLO. Because we weren't getting any headway in here, so we took this YOLO, and then obviously they couldn't... you know, keep this position because we were here. And then we actually got into Anna, and we did get pushed out, and it was probably a suboptimal strategy, but we had the element of surprise. Anyway, so they're going for this one, and you'll notice that, like, they are losing a lot of their stuff to Arty. How is this spot? Oh, it's the seed planes, right? They keep flying over and just spotting things, and they're not moving them, so... yeah, they lost some guys in the transports there. So yeah, I mean, attacking in this game is really bloody difficult, but you do need some recon. Yeah, they got this. So that is helpful, because otherwise they probably won't be able to see that. But yeah, like a vehicle recon would be nice, or a recon helo. They do have a recon helo, I don't know if it's died. That got suppressed to death. Honestly, if he just waited 10 more seconds for this to fly over, he would have got one of those, and it probably would have survived. That's a pretty cool attack. That's a pretty cool attack, actually. So, they don't have seed. So what they did was Dustin just bought all his crappy MiG-21s. Which, I mean, honestly, he should have just evac'd as soon as that little bit ended. Right, they're all going to die now, they don't have to. But anyway, and then behind that, Seb bought the bombers. And the synchronization was good. Like, the fighters were in front, even though the speeds are different. The only mistake they made was, like, these could have been a bit sooner, and the MiG-21 should have just evac'd as soon as they finished flying over the target, because, you know, you're not going to win this fight, are you? And that probably should have gone as well, but it worked. They've killed enough people to get in. Oh, they do have a vehicle recon, so yeah, this could move up to here. But yeah, you know, that was a good attack. This is obviously, like, really not great. You don't want to be blobbing like that. Surprisingly, I think they only lost 2 guys. Yeah. But they've taken this, and that puts them on a +2. Because Blue's still fighting the last war, right? So yeah, you got to break out of the mold of that sort of mindset of, I can, you know, my reinforcements are coming, I can send them in. You just got to be like, okay, we lost that, let's just fortify everywhere else, and then we can't lose. But now Blue has to attack, or they will lose, because Red's on a +2. So it is important. And big reinforcements from Red here. Somebody's not been spending their points. You know, this, you can put the CV next to it, right, and then it'll reload faster. And yeah, so now Red needs to think, okay, we are now in a position that we're going to win this game. How can we lose this game? Well, we could lose here, so they're reinforcing this. And also, there's a lot of guys here, still. So, and then they're just not moving their AA. After it shoots at the seed or whatever, they just need to keep moving it, because, like, the amount of KUBS this... Like, the guy brought 8 KUBS, and it looks like he's going to go through all 8 of them, because he just keeps losing them to artillery. So, next thing, right? If you, because like neither of these divs have cheap recon helos or drones or anything like that. The only recon helo they've got is this, and it's 1 per card. And so, because I was going to say, you might want to try just going in here. But, I mean, obviously, yes, there's nobody there. Great, it's going to work. But generally, you would send a, you would send a little bit of recon in front. Like, you know, maybe even like leave the front one of these empty or something. Or some of those empty trucks. I suppose they came this way. But, I mean, you know, this works as well, right? The front one will die, the rest won't. So, they got in. And now you get the CV in, right? Same road, just go hide it in here. Like, that's a good job. And, yeah, now, you know, you keep moving, get a... One of the metas should be in here. One of them here. One of them, like... here. I mean, you basically want to stop them from getting back in, so you want somebody here as well, like a BTR-80 there, maybe a BTR-80 there. But yeah, I mean, they're in. They just need to... Okay, so CV's coming. They do have to watch out, though, because this is seeing that, and they might get planed. So that's a good plane target. But Blue's coming back in on this side. But you see the coordination from Red's just a bit better, really. What happened to that? I mean, these things keep dying, right? Oh, no, it's because of the drone, of course, yeah. So yeah, he's moving up now. Got the RM70 on the blob, right? Super useful. Like, NATO can work well on this map, because I think 9th US is actually an excellent pick for this map. Like, he should have brought the coffin launcher, though. I mean, isn't that the whole point? And look at that, Blue has managed to get back in here. But they've lost their back zone, which is +2. So, yeah, no AA. It's always a mistake. No, like, Conkers or something, like a Conkers M in there can work. Yes, this needs to keep moving, and it is. But yeah, no AA. Bit of a mistake. It's not coming either, so... This, like, shturmovik's seed play has been very, very good. He's had a lot. I'm not sure you saw what just happened there. That just got one-shot by a KUB. Because it got a crit, which dealt an extra damage. So this did 9 + 1 damage, which is 10, right? And that was obviously enough to kill the plane. So, yeah, I mean, poor time. I don't watch these ahead of time. I don't know. It happens. So that's a good cluster thing. I'm surprised it didn't do more damage, but it's only got 2 bombs, I suppose. And yeah, Red is suffering from inability to kill this hog, right? And they can't really get in there because the eagle would shoot them. So, yeah, and yeah, the Metis weren't able to. It's like, this is not intelligent, really. I mean, if you know the hog's there, what you can do is just rush it with all the BTR-80s and it will go down, because it's not got anti-tank. And these are terrible against armor of any kind, so... I mean, we'll see how that goes. So, Red's still on the +2 because of Boris, right? Because this is even, this is red, this is blue, but it's because of this. So, this needs to live a long time. We'll see how this goes. I mean, and look how, I mean, it's run out, but it doesn't do a whole lot. But yeah, Red's really struggling in mid. I mean, they've been losing a lot of units to just artillery, basically. Like, all their AA keeps dying. So they're in danger of just fully losing mid. Also, they've not been spending their points. Like, this is just 2 minutes income right here. Too many planes as well, I think. So they just kept buying bombers. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, that didn't work, unsurprisingly. You do have smoke on these. Sort of their big advantage, but... yeah. So, I mean, this is obviously really dumb. Why is he Groznying? Really don't want to be doing that. Like, all you had to do is just send these down here, you know, more in the open, right? But yeah, and he sent the tank CV one first. Blue really doing their best to throw this. Lost a Strike Eagle, a Phantom, a Bradley, a CV M1, and I think a regular M1, and another Bradley, and another Abrams, and it's just because, well, they just fast passed them all through the town. So, I'm not sure where this is going, frankly, but like, you've got units here. Do you not want the points? Because now the tick's going to stop, and you don't have the advantage. The other thing is, like, you can start, like, smoking. I mean, it will eventually die, obviously, if you don't retreat it, but isn't it better to get the points in this case? Because, like, now I think it's going to die anyway. And, like, well, like, you could have... What? Oh, okay, so it had the smoke. So, RM70 gets the next blob. Another KUB dies. Yeah, I really think that should have stayed in here. Because like something like a light rifles runs into it, it does just kill it. And you have the metis, and if you keep it in the deep forest, the hog can't kill it. I mean, it would eventually die, but... I mean, are you saving it for later? I'd be trying to get the points, personally. Anyway. 2 fighters going down there. MiG-29's obviously not going to beat double eagles. Especially those MiGs. Actually, no, aren't they better? One of them's better. Lots of guys dying in transports and stuff. Lots of guys not unloading. He did tell me to stop doing this, but... And the problem Red has is that... Right, so they just keep having to buy AA. I mean, this is an absolute travesty. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm just going to spend 4 minutes income on an AA all at once. And don't attack me. But yeah, they keep having to replace their AA because they're just not moving it, and it keeps dying to artillery. I mean, that's literally what's just been happening. So you can avoid this problem, obviously, by not buying it all at once. But you can also avoid it by not losing your initial AA. It's obviously easier said than done. I don't think anybody sets out to lose AA, right? I choose to lose my AA today. Is this going for the arty? No, he just kind of forgot about it. Alright. I was like, wow, that's genius. He's coming around for the art. No, he just sort of gave it an order over there and forgot. It does happen. It does happen. So, yeah, if the game ended right now, Red would lose. And if he just kept that tank in there, I think it'd be about even now, because that was a +2. That ticks up pretty fast, right? So like 80 points a minute, right? Put 80 more I mean, how many minutes was that? Maybe 2? Even if it was 1, it would be a draw. If it was 2, it'd be 160. And then they'd be on 800, so it'd still be a draw. But yeah, I mean they are sort of, because like Blue's also been doing their best to lose all their units, so Red actually does have more guys here now. But yeah, the AA situation's pretty funny. I mean, you know, if you buy a lot of igloos, then they can stay in the buildings and then they can't be spotted, so... but yeah, I do think Blue have definitely got their money's worth out of these howitzers this game. It's just a shame that of when they bought them, basically. They bought them at the wrong time. So yeah, Grad's perfect for that. I'd probably cancel that instead of, you know, just wasting all the ammo, but... To each their own. And then just like, there you go, they're back on the +2. So, yeah, and you see, like, Blue's not been spending their income. Not sure what shturmovik's income has been going on. Presumably just all these planes. Okay. Get saved by the KUB. Igloos. Right on time. Shilka, I mean, this is getting very silly now. We're just gonna AA only challenge. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, the initial proposition still holds, right? Imagine if these 3 Bradleys just came in here, killed this, and just set themselves up there. Then you'd just have so much, because like, they just couldn't come this way anymore. And then you'd have so much room to play with here. But, you know, hindsight's 50-50, as they say. Oh, I see. So this is where the 9th US player's income's been going. He's trying to get back in here. Which, okay, fair enough. Like, there's nobody in here apart from, you know, 5 igloos. 2 Conkers M dying there. The arty party. Like, this arty has been doing very well. 5 igloo attack. Whoa. You'd expect 2 hits there, but you would actually need 3, so probably still make it. And yeah, the Bradleys have shown... I mean, realistically, you want the tanks in front of the Bradleys, so the Bradleys don't get ATGMs, because they die in 1 hit to the ATGMs. Like, the This genuinely upsets me. I mean, it's like that scene from Generation Kill. You know, when they're in the Humvees, and they're like, why are the tanks driving past us? In this case, the tanks are right behind you, watching you die. So yeah, imagine if these 3 were here, and that would have gone a lot better. And you know, maybe a recon so you can actually see these guys and whatever. Send in the next wave. The bomber did surprisingly well, given how bad a bomber that is. So we got 5 igloos here, and we got 3 shilkers behind. Igloos, you know, you want them in the buildings really, or at least in the tree lines. There we go. This BMP3, I guess, is not in a position to help. So if you put it there, it'd be shooting, right? Should get that. Yeah. Expect that, really. The main issue is going to be the Humvee tows, right? This can actually just kill everything else easily. But has he noticed? It's automatically shooting, maybe. Still, it's doing the right thing. This guy... Oh, it's going on, yeah. What? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, BMP3 is engaging now as they move into it, really. But yeah, BMP3 really nice in this situation. It's very hard for 9th US to push. It's just not actually good at doing that. Because how do you do it? Well, you got to run ATGMs up to people. You got to run M60s up to people. Notoriously speedy vehicle. So is this guy still going? He is. Straight for the CV. That's a good bombing run there from Dustin Echoes. In the meantime, I do like the MLRS. I think it works wonders in this kind of situation. But, like, where's the recon, man? I mean, this is ridiculous. But, yeah. It tends to be, at the start of the game, people will buy recon, you know, for the deployment and stuff, and they get that. But then the recon usually is, like, the first thing to die, because it's on the front. And then they just forget to replace it, basically. So... You know, it's easy for me to just sit here and say, yeah, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. It's harder to do it while you're concentrating, and you look back and you're like, oh, that was stupid. That's why you should watch your own replays, by the way. I mean, if you get the Tier 4 channel membership, I do cast replays at a rate of 1 per calendar month. Let's say you beat somebody who you really don't like. Great way to support the channel there. And then maybe he'll take our membership, and then he'll send me replay. I've actually had that happen. Yeah, it's great. Great way to support the channel. Sort of war profiteering. But, I can't remember where I was going with this. Just watch your own replays, right? If you... That's free, and you can watch it at high speed, so it doesn't take you very long. And it's a great habit to get into. In fact, I know a top player who does that every single time. Like, even in tournament games. If there's, like, multiple games in a row, it's like, just give me 5 minutes. And I can see that, because he's on my friends list. He's in-game, which means, he's probably just watching the replay back. And I don't recommend doing it in a tournament, but because it means I have to wait for you. But yeah, it looks like Red swung this. I mean, Blue have just sort of ran out of brain cells. I do like those smoke mortars. That's cool. But basically, I can understand the idea, right? Because then the opponents have to defend 1 each. But attacking's harder than defending. Although if you only attack in one place, then both enemy defenders are going to be there, and attacking's still going to be harder than defending. So, yeah, I get it. I'm not sure what's going on there. So the CV tank first. You got plenty of other crap. Wild Weasel's really kind of bad. Have you noticed we've not... oh no, I think a Strike Eagle did die over mid, right? But yeah, this is kind of the 24th problem. Like, yes, okay, you don't run out of Bradleys. But so... Wow. As you can see, it's not doing him much good. Although a lot of it is because... mean, it's basically just what the Bradley is. It's not very well armoured, and it's like got really good firepower, so it ends up costing a lot, while not being very survivable. So it's very hard to use properly. Like, this is... I mean, I suppose it's 5 points cheaper than a BMP2 now. Which makes sense, given that it's got less armour, the same ATGM, slightly better autocannon, actually a lot better autocannon, and the ATGM's got more accuracy. But it's reservist. Blimey, that's... okay. So, yeah, as you can see, MLRS, super useful in these 2v2 games, because, oh, I'm going to smoke the corner, okay. Have fun with that. So, yeah, it's looking pretty Jova for blue. Obviously, they can't see what we can see, right? Like, that's a big part of it. When you see these games, and you're like, well, this is over. But... so, okay, so, like, this is smart, right? Trying to make it down here. But red was ready for them. I don't know if... I wasn't even looking at this, but, like, a lot of these guys looks like they just got here, so maybe he sent one unit forwards and they got spotted, like, maybe... yeah, this is it, right? Okay. Forget that Chaparral, it's worth it. I mean, on a point basis, that was worth it, because that's 90 points for 3 of those. The Chappie's like 1 something, like 120 or something. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, they're back in. They're mainly back in because Red's just sort of brain farting here. Like, they could do something. Have you noticed there's like no buildings left here? Very few buildings left here. But yeah, I really do wish that the 9th US player had bought the Coffin launcher, because it would have been so useful in this circumstance. Okay, there's a Vakshutson, dead. Okay, there's another Vakshutson, dead. And, you know, rinse and repeat to slowly work your way through. Whereas they've got this problem where in the open space they do tend to win, because they've got the grenade launchers, they've got 10 billion Bradleys, and the... you know, in the open, it's basically a 2v1, because the, like, Dustin can't really do anything about this. He could have bought more of those anti-tank guns. Or, like, more Conkers or whatever. But, you know, in general, he's more of the town thing. And so it's just Seb taking on that role. But then they get into the town, and, well, that's the issue with having it forwards, but he's got a spare, so it's all good. So, like, now this cluster needs to go on those tongue. Oh, I suppose this is sort of a bit more of an urgent problem. I mean, the Blue's airwaves are pretty crazy. Like, really, Red should not be struggling against this at all. It's just the arty, they just kept losing their AA to arty. Anyway, but once you get into the town, then you've got to deal with all the Vakshutson and the Pioneer Agi and so on. And so that's where the Coffin launcher helps you. And obviously, like, 9th US is good in towns because of the light rifles. The Coffin launcher is definitely the big... because, like, it's basically once a minute you can just kill someone. Like... okay. I mean... yeah, interesting. I guess he's run out of units. I mean, the Avengers are actually not bad against infantry. And there are a lot of helos here. And there are a lot of planes here. You see he's not hiding in the middle of the smoke, because if you've got a cluster, this is probably where you're going to bomb, right? If it's a blind hit. But this thing, yeah, it can hit everybody. See, he's trying to get out of the thing there, I think. He has exposed himself. There are many Avengers on their way. This is an Avengers level threat. Wow, I'm hip and down with the kids of 10 years ago, when people still used to watch Marvel films. Anyway, yes, the smoke appears to have stopped. Did they lose the mortars? There were some here. There aren't any more, so maybe they died. Maybe they got arted. Blue's actually on a plus... well, they were. Looks like the AT plane got it. I guess they're just going for a draw. It is still possible. I mean, well... I think now it's not, because that's gonna... yeah, it was sort of probable. No, possible, not probable. I get the idea. But yeah, it looks like Red's managed to clinch it. So, yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting game. You saw it was a lot of back and forth, right? Apart from here, nothing happened in Fedor. So there was this attack in the bomb, right? So you got Seb, rank 158, 1400 games. Dustin Echoes, 314, 1600 games. Shturmovik, 447, 1000 games. Yastreb, 205, 1700 games. So, it's sort of reasonably equivalent in skill. And you see that, Berlin Gropers, I mean, it worked. There are better ways of doing it, but it worked. As in, like, if he'd been playing a different division, I think it would have been a little easier for him, basically. Especially into this blue lineup, I think they would have got the town faster, but they did get the town reasonably fast. Like, it all worked out. But yeah, just remember to like move your AA constantly, and I would just leave it switched off until you need it. In a team game, definitely, I would leave it switched off until you need it, because then you can't be seeded by default. And yeah, just a couple more Igglers in that town, and then they wouldn't need so many, stuff in the open. But no, I thought that was a pretty good game. Oh yeah, I wanted to see. I suppose we've only got the red perspective, so I can't see how many kills that seed plane got. Because it'll only count Dustin's thing, it won't count Seb's. So like, I believe this killed a lot more, but it'll be like Tors and stuff, right? Anyways, do let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. GG.